See You at Work Tomorrow episode 10 begins as a relatively calm chapter filled with relationship conversations, career decisions, and family concerns. However, by the time the episode reaches its final minutes, everything changes. A workplace scandal threatens to destroy Siwoo's reputation, manager Ko finally makes his move, and Ji Yoon is forced to make the biggest decision of her life in front of everyone. The ending not only confirms the strength of their relationship, but also sets up an emotional and high-stakes finale. The episode opens with Siwoo unexpectedly meeting Ji Yoon at a vinyl record store. After everything that happened at the wedding, there is still some awkwardness between them, but Ji Yoon sincerely apologizes for his behavior. Siwoo accepts the apology without hesitation, showing once again that he prefers resolving conflicts peacefully rather than holding onto resentment. It is a small scene, but it reflects one of Siwoo's strongest qualities throughout the series. He rarely lets pride control his decisions, something that becomes even more important later in the episode. Soon afterward, Siwoo visits Ji Yoon's father's repair shop to fix his vintage speaker. While working together, Siwoo asks an important question. Should they finally tell her father about their relationship? Ji Yoon hesitates. Not because she is ashamed of their relationship, but because she feels the timing still is not right. That hesitation quietly introduces the episode's central theme. Love is no longer the problem. Timing is. Meanwhile, work continues as the team focuses on expanding their home AI products into department stores. Instead of simply placing products on ordinary shelves, they suggest creating a dedicated home AI section where customers can experience the entire product ecosystem together. It is an ambitious proposal that demonstrates how much the team has grown professionally. Siwoo also travels to Pohang to meet a potential buyer, showing his continued commitment to the company's success despite everything happening in his personal life. Another pleasant surprise comes when Nari announces that Ji Yoon's music has become popular enough for him to be cast as the lead in their promotional web series. It is a rewarding moment because viewers have watched Ji Yoon slowly rebuild his confidence throughout the drama. The episode then quietly shifts back toward romance. While in Busan, Siwoo meets an old college friend named Jong Hyun-yu. During their conversation, Siwoo openly talks about his divorce from Soo-jin and his growing relationship with Ji Yoon. This conversation matters because it confirms something viewers have already noticed. Siwoo is no longer emotionally trapped by his failed marriage. His heart has completely moved forward. Back in Seoul, Ji Yoon faces another unexpected problem. Several apartments in her building have been robbed. Although nothing happens to her directly, the situation leaves her frightened. Siwoo immediately tells her to stay at his home where she will feel safer. Without hesitation, he rushes back from his trip simply to be with her. These scenes perfectly demonstrate why their relationship works so well. Neither relies on dramatic declarations of love. Instead, they consistently support each other through ordinary moments that quietly strengthen their bond. While looking for a new apartment together, Siwoo jokingly presents several housing options. Then he casually adds one more possibility. She could simply marry him. At first, Ji Yoon is unsure whether he is serious. Siwoo quickly explains that he truly is ready for marriage, but has no intention of forcing her into making such a huge decision before she feels comfortable. Rather than demanding an answer, he tells her to think about it carefully. This proposal becomes the emotional thread running throughout the rest of the episode. Ji Yoon spends much of the story questioning why she cannot immediately say yes. The answer is not that she doubts Siwoo. Instead, she worries about everything surrounding marriage. Her career, her future, the possibility that even a loving relationship could eventually fall apart. Those fears become even stronger after she learns that both she and Ki-tae have been recommended for special promotions. Instead of celebrating without concern, Ji Yoon immediately wonders whether marriage could slow her professional growth. The series handles this conflict realistically. Many workplace romances focus only on emotional happiness, but See You at Work Tomorrow also explores how career ambitions influence major life decisions. Later, Ki-tae unknowingly reveals that he already knows about Ji Yoon and Siwoo's relationship. He also shares an interesting perspective on marriage. According to him, successful couples are like a seesaw. Sometimes one person must give a little more. Sometimes the other person must do the same. The balance constantly shifts, but both people continue supporting each other. This simple analogy leaves a lasting impression on Ji Yoon. Later that evening, Siwoo surprises her with a toy ring. It is not an official engagement ring. Instead, it symbolizes his promise that he is willing to wait. There is no pressure, no deadline, only reassurance that his feelings will not change. It is one of the sweetest moments in the episode because it shows that Siwoo values Ji Yoon's comfort more than his own expectations. Unfortunately, peace never lasts for long. Manager Ko finally begins putting his plan into action. At the same time, Ji Yoon discovers another serious workplace policy. Company rules do not allow romantic couples to remain in the same department. Whenever such a relationship becomes public, the junior employee is normally transferred elsewhere. Without hesitation, Siwoo immediately tells her that he will request the transfer himself. He refuses to let her career suffer because of him. Once again, his first priority is protecting Ji Yoon's future rather than his own convenience. The emotional tension continues building when Ji Yoon's father unexpectedly discovers Siwoo at her apartment. Although Siwoo sincerely explains how deeply he cares about Ji Yoon, her father immediately rejects the relationship. His reaction is understandable. From his perspective, his daughter has suddenly become involved with someone he barely knows. However, even after facing direct opposition, Siwoo remains respectful throughout the conversation. Later that night, Ji Yoon finally gives Siwoo her answer regarding marriage. She quietly admits that she is not ready. Importantly, this is not a rejection. She simply needs more time. Instead of feeling disappointed, Siwoo smiles and tells her that he is willing to wait for however long she needs. At first, viewers may think this conversation resolves the proposal storyline. Instead, it becomes the perfect setup for the shocking ending. Manager Ko launches his biggest attack yet. An anonymous post suddenly appears on the company forum revealing that Siwoo and Soo Jin were once married. Even worse, someone accuses them of secretly continuing their relationship despite Soo Jin now being married to someone else. As supposed evidence, hotel receipts from Busan are uploaded online. The accusations spread quickly throughout the company. Although Siwoo and Soo Jin immediately explain that they simply happened to stay at the same hotel without knowing it, the damage is already done. Another disturbing mystery also emerges. The hotel receipts came from internal company records. That means someone inside the organization illegally accessed confidential documents before leaking them online. The scandal is no longer just about gossip. It has become an internal security issue. As rumors spread across the office, Ji Yoon faces the most difficult choice of the entire series. She knows the truth. On the night those hotel receipts were created, Siwoo was actually with her because she was too frightened to stay alone after the burglary at her apartment. If she publicly reveals that information, the affair rumors disappear immediately. However, doing so also means exposing their own relationship. Her friends desperately try to stop her. They remind her that her promotion is approaching. Making the relationship public could damage her career, create workplace complications, and force one of them to change departments. For several moments, Ji Yoon remains silent. Then Manager Ko publicly humiliates Siwoo in front of everyone. That becomes the final push she needs. Instead of allowing the man she loves to suffer alone, Ji Yoon walks directly toward him. She takes his hand. She looks at everyone watching. Then she calmly announces that she was with Siwoo that night. She confirms that they are dating. The rumors are completely false. In that single moment, Ji Yoon chooses honesty over fear. She chooses love over career calculations. She chooses trust over public opinion. The scene becomes even more emotional when Si-woo smiles and asks whether this public confession should also be considered her answer to his marriage proposal. This time, unlike earlier in the episode, Ji Yoon does not hesitate. She simply says yes. The meaning behind this ending is much deeper than a public relationship announcement. Earlier, Ji Yoon rejected the proposal because she feared the future. By the end of the episode, she realizes something important. No relationship can ever come with complete certainty. Waiting for every fear to disappear means waiting forever. When she stands beside Si-woo despite knowing the professional consequences, she proves she has finally chosen him completely. Episode 10 therefore transforms from a story about hesitation into one about commitment. The anonymous scandal may have been designed to destroy Si-woo and Ji Yoon, but instead it forces them to stop hiding and openly fight for their relationship. With their romance now public, workplace policies about office relationships, manager Ko's ongoing schemes, Ji Yoon's possible promotion, and her family's objections are all set to collide in the finale. If episode 10 is any indication, the final chapter promises to test not only their love, but also whether they can protect both their careers and their future together when everything around them is working against them.